Welcome everyone to It's Vinylly Mine. So glad you could join us today as we're counting down to Halloween. I'm bringing you some vinyl horror film records. Yes, I know we already covered some horror, but we're doing a little more. Okay, I got a lot of horror. What can I say? This is our season for horror film fans, and although all year round is horror season around here. But anyway, let's get started with the first vinyl we want to look at this week, which is Video Violence. Yes, it's the Gordon S.O.V soundtrack to Video Violence, the shot-on-video cult classic about a husband and wife who run a video rental store, and, well, they find that a lot of people just like horror or the occasional triple Xer, so they decide to get fresh content by making their own snuff films and renting those out. If you haven't seen Video Violence, it's crazy, it's wild, it's extreme, especially for the time it was made, and it is definitely still being talked about today. In fact, I recently talked about it not recently, it's been a little while, but we talked about it on Astro Radio Z when I was a guest on Mr. Derek Carey's show, so check that podcast out, a great episode for a great show that Mr. Derek Carey runs over there. Now, today, we are looking at the TerrorVision Records release of Video Violence. This is TerrorVision TV 021. It was released August 2020. Yes, I actually pre-ordered the package, which included a number of other goodies besides just the vinyl. It's distributed by Graveface Distribution and mastered at the Boiler Room, like a lot of TerrorVision stuff. So let's drop the needle and take a look at the soundtrack to this Gary P. Cohen directed film. Okay, so first off, as you got to see, this very cool t-shirt. We got this t-shirt, the TerrorVision logo on it. I love this. It's a comfortable shirt, good quality as well. Very impressed by it. And so down here, we also got this goodie, which is a VHS tape in the shape of a coffin. How cool is that? Double pin backing, good solid make as well. Love the print and the texturing on it, folks. Yeah, that was definitely worth it. I got to find some very safe place to pin this, because this is a really good quality pin. And like a couple of our last shipments from TerrorVision, we get extra goodies in here that we didn't plan on, including yet another pixie stick. You can't go wrong with a pixie stick. And how cool is this? It's a horror crossword puzzle with horror clues, yes, and a clipping from a Camp Motion Pictures PR release of this Video of Violence. So yeah, you got a little clip in there about Video Violence and a number of problems here, all horror related for the crossword puzzle. Can't wait to do that crossword puzzle later. And then, of course, a thank you for your order from Chloe at Graveface .com, which is always great. And this, now I got one of these before in one of my other videos, and I was like, oh, the fish isn't doing anything. I put it in my hand. Well, you know, it helps to look at the package, folks, and me being me, I didn't do that on the last one, but I did that here, and look, there's an actual fish. Why? Because it's a fortune teller fish, and you go by what it says on the back of what you are. So before we go to the record, let's see what it does. So it's curling on the head to tail. Well, head to tail are moving. So moving head and tail, that means I'm in love. Whoa, it took off. Well, I do love my wife quite a bit. And, and curls up entirely, passionate. So there you go, folks. Passionate and in love. And yes, I just celebrated my anniversary with my wife, 22 years. So Video Violence. Check this cover out. This is an awesome design. Designed by Earl Kess, who's designed a number of other covers for TerrorVision Records, and I just love it. It just pops. This is from the video, Too Violent to Rate, and then a must listen for video store personnel and their customers. I love that. This whole thing just pops for you. And the blood and the VHS tape. I could just stare at this. It looks great. And yeah, I'm very impressed by the quality and the design. But as I've discovered, TerrorVision puts out a wonderful product, and this is yet another example of that. But let's take a look inside, shall we? No bat blade needed for you this time, as it does have a sticky back. So let's see what we got in here. So, all right. Well, we've got in here video violence, the cover. And yeah, before we look inside it, let's look at the sleeve that came with it. Here it is. Gary P. Cohen did liner notes for it. And oh, check this out. This is so cool. Some BTS photos from the movie. That is awesome. And a replica of the card as well. Oh, I love this. This is so great because, again, as I mentioned before, some of these cult films don't get the coverage that some of them deserve because some of them have fascinating stories. Let's see on the other side of the sleeve. Oh, great. An interview with the composer, Gordon S.O.V. I hope I pronounced that right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that as well. And there's an image from the video store that was in the movie. So that is cool. So what record will we be putting inside the sleeve? Oh, check that out. Similar to the color scheme that we got with Igor and the Lunatics, we've got the bright yellow and pink. I love that. That is gorgeous, isn't it? With the art on one side and then the track listing for both sides on the other side. So yeah, I'm really digging the label and the quality and the art design and the color of the vinyl too. This is awesome. Oh, I love the stuff that they put out. I really do. It is definitely worth it, folks. But let's see what's inside because this is a gatefold. So let's find out what this gatefold has. And there you go, folks. It is the front of the video store that's in the movie. So awesome. You can get to see and read all the posters on there. Indiana Jones. Yeah, they definitely paid for the licensing for all that, I'm sure. So yeah, I'm digging this quite a bit. So what we're going to do now, as always, is we're going to take this vinyl and we're going to go listen to it. And when we return, I will tell you my favorite track from it, plus a little more interesting tidbit about this film that the director had wanted to do with it recently, so I read. So stay tuned for that, folks. We're going to take a break, and when I come back, we've got more for you. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, you want to help us decide what we review here on It's Vinylly Mine? Then head on over to www.patreon.com/specialmarkproductions. It's our Patreon page where we have 3 great tiers for you to join. If you join our top tier, you get early access to all the videos we post on YouTube. Plus, you get to participate in a poll to decide on what we review on It's Vinylly Mine, and you get a poll to decide what the VIP episode will be for the month exclusively for our patrons. We got a lot of great content there, so head on over there and we hope to see you soon. And we're back, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that little segment from this wonderfully electronic synth-composed soundtrack. Apparently, the composer, according to the liner notes, did most of the music on a Kurzweil 250 synthesizer. For those out there who like their electronic synth music, that's what they used to compose this music for this movie. Also, interesting tidbit that they were going to possibly do a musical version of Video Violence, which, let me tell you, here, take my money now. I would love to see that. The film itself was edited over the course of 8 hours at a local cable access station, apparently, and the score was composed from dailies, basically footage, rough footage that was brought over to the composer, and he did the music along the way. So I found all that information interesting. It's all on the liner notes, plus interesting thoughts from the director. TerrorVision not disappointing with this collection. I apologize for my enthusiasm because I realized in our last segment I forgot to do one thing, and that was look at the back of the record vinyl sleeve. We looked at the front and the middle, but not the back. So let's take a look at it now, and I'll also point out my favorite track to this soundtrack. Now, this is a wonderful backing, such a retro feel. Got the video violence up here, the font. I love the font they used here for the track listing. It gives you that old on-screen display font feel that you had from VHS players and beta players, for those who remember those. Yeah, this whole feel and design is very well done, capturing the retro feel which you want for a film like this. And my favorite track, I'm not copying out, folks, main title. The main theme here is really fantastic. It sticks out. It really is an earworm. It's very fitting to set up the tone of the movie, although the rest of these tracks as well really give it some atmosphere and some tension, and I just love the soundtrack to it. And the way this soundtrack ends as well, it's great. This is a wonderful sound, a great pressing. I believe it's on 180 gram vinyl. Very solid record quality. And yeah, folks, this is definitely worth it. Not only if you're a fan of video violence, but electronic synth music, or just a really good, well put together vinyl album. This one I think is definitely going to be for you. And so there you have it, folks, our review of Video Violence from TerrorVision, distributed by Graveface. And yeah, it really going to look great on my shelf next to my other retro soundtracks on vinyl. And I thank you for listening to me babble about this. You know, this is great because we get information and we're getting a preservation of this older music. Some of it is fantastic, done by very talented individuals. And again, we have another example here. So thank you so much, folks. I appreciate you sticking us through. Hope you found this interesting. Please head on over to our Patreon, where you get to vote, depending on which tier you choose. You get to vote what vinyl we review here on It's Vinylly Mine. Yeah, and remember, until next time, it's not yours, it's vinylly mine, and I'll catch you on the flip side.